news today. The Minerals and Resources Bill will return to Parliament next year, 2026. 3-day public order management training for Honiara City Council's law enforcement. The second Pacific Disaster Risk Management Ministers meeting concludes. And in sports, women's senior national football team in PNG for the MSG Prime Minister's Cup 2025. Hello and welcome. I'm Ursula Nongebatu. The Minerals and Resources Bill 2025 will return to Parliament next year, as the bill still remains under inquiry and consultation. Prime Minister Jeremiah Manele confirms this week during his press conference. Prime Minister Manele said that for the bill to be tabled in the first or second reading in November, seating is highly unlikely, because the next seating will be solely for the 2026 budget.
But for it to be tabled for first reading or second reading or November, December, very unlikely, because November, December sitting will be solely for the budget, 2026 budget. But it is an important piece of legislation that as a government we would like to see this through, and hopefully first meeting of 2026. Once the necessary, if there are outstanding work that needs to be done with regards to BLC recommendations that the issue of mines and energy may wish to look into, then that has to be done. But it is a priority. The mining sector is a priority. We need that important legislation to be in place.
Concerns surrounding the bill is that wider consultations to the provinces was needed before taking the Minerals and Resources Bill back to Parliament. Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of Mines says they have taken concerns on board raised from the bills and legislation consultations and hope to see the bill brought back to Parliament next year.
Though we also have our thoughts around it, that we've already did the consultations in the provinces. But they wish to take it to the provinces again. The ministry and the team that is with the support from Attorney General Chamba, we've taken on board all the comments so far from the bill legislation committee consultations below Parliament, and we are also looking into areas of concerns where our people really got it, and we are prepared that when the opportunity is there, we will take the bill through. First things, as soon as we have the opportunity next year.
According to TSI, the bill needs more work and says the bill is not designed to fix the long-standing issues in the mining sector, but instead seeks to legalize irregular practices already happening on the ground. The organization warns that the bill favors foreign mining interests over the rights of indigenous landowners, many of whom have not been properly consulted or compensated. Honiara City Council's Law Enforcement Division has launched a 3-day public order management training for its first 20 officers at the multipurpose hall starting November 6th, yesterday. Facilitated by the Chinese police team, the program aims to boost skills in maintaining peace and public safety. Tavuli News spoke to Director Law Enforcement, Robert Madeo, about the partnership, calling it a major step in enhancing professionalism and discipline, and highlights accountability, teamwork, and community cooperation.
Well, the training, as I'm happy here, I think is essential for as law enforcement officers. We need to undergo such training for developing and upskilling mga tulo lo wakabla time mga doing wakabla, especially time confronting physical situations. Make them help them for reducing risk and enhance him too. Decision-making law a stressful time when time would approach him. People where to breach him laws or ordinances inside the city. and him very helpful. And the other thing too, this will enhance too, or give him public that what I'm confident too, and with him the law enforcement officers. Time or to do him walk a block inside the city.
He highlighted the role in orderly markets, traffic and safer communities, and the need to keep Honiara City safe. Director Robert Mardeo confirmed 2 more cohorts will undergo this training.
Honiara City Council, law enforcement, we were happy too much and thank him China police for offering that training for us. And this is a very first time indeed in history, and him beginning too. And this is the beginning of such training where by law enforcement officers below Honiara City Council by what they're doing. First one by him and tomorrow, Saturday. Certificates will be given, issued to those who are attending these trainings. And as moving forward, the division will continue to go ahead with this for training. As you sabe, the city blame social antisocial behaviors and situations where have arise inside the city. I think with the support by law enforcement throughout these trainings, himself support him to national police blame inside the city or any situations where might arrive in the future.
The Solomon Islands is moving to strengthen its disaster response efforts with plans to build a new humanitarian warehouse in Auki, Malaita province. The facility will serve as a storage and distribution center for emergency supplies to ensure rapid response during disasters. Director of the National Disaster Management Office, Jonathan Tafiariki, said the decision to establish the warehouse in Malaita province is part of a broader strategy to improve disaster preparedness and response across the country.
I think Auki is one of the strategic locations in the country. Specifically, have been something where government always think about it. What not the next backup area in the country? Yeah? So the next backup area in me, na lo Auki you sabe that Honiara remain threatened by existence of Savo volcano where him currently dormant, but him got potentials for him really threatening Honiara city itself. So Auki him one for strategic location as a backup Blumi, but also Western and Temotu province and been in considerations for developing capabilities there.
He explained that the humanitarian warehouse is one of the key outcomes the government is working towards to ensure that relief supplies and resources can be delivered efficiently to affected communities during emergencies. The Second Pacific Disaster Risk Management Ministers meeting concluded on Wednesday after 2 days of discussions focused on strengthening political leadership for disaster risk management in the Pacific region. Director of the National Disaster Management Office, Jonathan Tafiariki, said the 2-day meeting demonstrated the government's strong commitment and dedication to advancing disaster risk management, as well as identifying opportunities to enhance and build on existing policies.
Integration should be the main part of disaster management, focusing on integration, but more on coherence. Yeah? So coherence, here meaning we must work to strengthen him and also integrate. Yeah? We can integrate, but suppose we must strengthen him, or the systems play me, or the arrangements play me, hem no really coherence naman. So hem na several something of the commitment for ensure that there is coherence lot of work play me, work stakeholders that are part of the disaster management arrangements. Yeah?
He added that the discussions were particularly significant for communities in vulnerable areas such as the Solomon Islands, where effective management and coordination are crucial in addressing the various challenges posed by disasters.
So for Yumi Lo Solomon, this one have some commitment lo Yumi Since Minister Blimi lo here, hem support him na the declaration and some commitment lo yumi lo nandi declarations where hem na the first declarations lo regional level for disaster risk management lo Pacific. So hem some commitment lo yumi lo that for declaration and also lo 2050 strategy lo ta leaders lo yumi where ta agree lo hem and set him agenda for disaster risk management. So for Emilio Solomon, hem na specifically hem some commitment lo country blame, but also hem providing me too the need for strengthening na preparedness and readiness blame for deal with them or disasters relevant.
In regional news, the Western and Central Pacific Fisheries Commission hopes to adopt a new management plan for South Pacific albacore tuna at its annual meeting in Manila next month. The tuna industry is worth about $5.3 billion a year to Pacific Island economies. Western and Central Pacific Fisheries Commission Chair Dr. Josie Tamate says the plan has been years in the making and aims to secure the long-term sustainability of albacore stocks, which remain healthy. Pacific nations, including Fiji, Vanuatu, and the Cook Islands, backed the move to strengthen the fisheries' economic viability. The meeting begins on December 1st. The first of potentially hundreds of individuals deemed non-citizens by Australia have been removed to Nauru as part of the latest multi-million-dollar resettlement arrangement between the nations. The details of the deal, which Australia media have reported, will cost $2.5 billion in payments to Nauru over 30 years, remain secret. About 350 people, known as NZYQ cohort, are being targeted under the deal. Welcome back in sports. The Solomon Islands national senior women's team have now departed for Papua New Guinea to compete in the MSG Prime Minister's Cup, which is set to take place on the 10th to the 22nd. Solomon Islands is in Pool B alongside host nation Papua New Guinea and Fiji, which is promised to see a tough pool stage. The Solomon Islands women's national side will take on host PNG Red on Thursday next week. The Solomon Islands national men's side will depart for Papua New Guinea on Monday next week. Hook In for Health continues its development program for young participants every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with the Hookie journal Live Well, Learn Well, and Lead. As part of the development program on Wednesday, the team visited Nuvia Primary School in Guadalcanal, where they introduced the sport of hockey, teaching students teamwork, discipline, and the joy of sport. This visit is part of their ongoing school outreach under the development program. The program continues with both indoor and outdoor sessions, engaging young and passionate participants. The 3-day development program continues to grow, attracting children from a very young age to older participants. Day 3 of the SIF Super Beach Soccer Challenge in Honiara. In the feature match on Thursday this week, Kosa FC secured their second straight victory, defeating White Kovara FC 5-3. Earlier in the afternoon, Honiara Titans overcame Haura 8-4, while Moi ran out 9-4 winners against Capital Bullets. In the fourth match, Island Brothers picked up 3 points in their encounter with Gupo Strength. With the tournament continuing tomorrow, Saturday, teams will battle for a place in the next round as quarterfinals, semifinals, and the grand final next week. And that concludes our Tavuli News Bulletin for today and also for this week. We will be back on Monday. I'm Mr. Nanogebatu. You have a safe weekend.